And I guess with the offseason too, Amber mentioned in her exit interview that the number one priority was to land Kelsey in free agency again. Just how important was she to your team this year? How important has she been to the Fever? Obviously, the 8 years she's been with the franchise, and how badly do you want to keep her around?
I mean, yeah, she was the number one priority a year ago, and she's the number one priority this year.
All right, let's talk about this. In her recent interview, Stephanie White made it clear that Kelsey Mitchell is her top priority for the Indiana Fever. This is notable because Caitlin Clark has been a record-breaking player who brought huge attention to the franchise. To be fair, Mitchell is an elite veteran who deserves respect. However, there is a difference between valuing a star and building a team entirely around one player. What stood out most was how confidently White spoke, as if the decision had already been made. Let us know your thoughts on Coach White's statement in the comments below.
We have not lost sight of the fact that when Caitlin Clark got injured, Stephanie White called it a, quote, blessing in disguise. I've also said that I believe if you gave Stephanie White truth serum, she would actually tell you she believes this team was better without Caitlin Clark. I believe that. And I felt that way for quite some time. I believe that she believes that Kelsey Mitchell is the superstar on this team.
Then came the line that felt like a blessing in disguise. When a coach refers to her superstar's injury that way, it stops sounding like neutral coach talk and starts feeling questionable. Look at the numbers. Kelsey Mitchell averaged 19.2 points this season. Impressive, no doubt. But last season, Caitlin Clark averaged 19 points as well, along with 8.4 assists, the most in the league, and nearly 6 rebounds per game. More importantly, she changed how defenses had to guard the Fever. Both players are valuable, but Clark didn't just score, she elevated everyone around her. In fact, after the Olympic break last season, when Clark became the primary playmaker, Mitchell's numbers actually improved in Clark's offense. It's the irony. The system that centered Clark made the team better, yet Coach White is now treating the franchise's future like a one-woman show. And it isn't Caitlin Clark.
What Chrissy Sides ended up running was Caitlin's system. Now this year, you know, the second half of the season, it was the whatever system, motion offense system. But that system did not work very well for Kelsey. Now, Kelsey balled out, but she's going to ball out regardless. You know what I'm saying? And she's kind of a phenomenal player.
Now let's look closely at this interview. When Stephanie White says, we're going to continue to build around her, she doesn't say them. Not both stars, not our core, just her. That single word says more than any press release ever could. It sounds less like basketball strategy and more like corporate language, as if the decision was already made behind closed doors. White speaks about loyalty, arguing that Kelsey Mitchell has earned this after years of losing seasons and rebuilding. Loyalty is important, but loyalty alone doesn't win championships. Elite, generational talent does. Golden State built around Steph Curry, not tenure. Cleveland went all in on LeBron James, not loyalty. Stability is valuable, but championships are built on talent, not sentiment.
Now, Kelsey Mitchell is a very important piece. She's part of the big three. But there's only one Jordan-like generational talent on this team, and it's Caitlin Clark. The fact is, Kelsey Mitchell, Leah Boston, they were around before Caitlin showed up. And they got the number 1 overall pick to get Caitlin Clark.
This is why the move feels like a betrayal, not just to Caitlin Clark, but to Fever fans who believed the team was finally moving forward. Internal disagreements happen, but publicly sidelining the player who put the franchise back in the spotlight is different. Analysts and former players are also seeing the same concerns, which makes this more than just fan speculation. There is a clear limit when Kelsey Mitchell is your first option. You can win some games, but against elite teams like Minnesota or New York, it won't be enough. Stephanie White knows this well. So if she is still choosing to center the franchise around someone other than her generational point guard, it feels more political than strategic, and that's what makes it frustrating.
Since they ass is by far not good enough for me. I am sorry. I mean, you got Stephanie White right there. Ask these hardcore questions. What was really wrong with Caitlin Clark? The reason why she did not come back from that ankle injury. We never seen her in a boot. A groin injury is pretty much pulled muscle. Ask those tough questions. Ask her, do you believe had Caitlin Clark returned, y'all could have had a chance to go far? Now, granted, she might not have answered that one, but it wouldn't have hurt to ask.
This brings us to the injury narrative. Questions remain about Caitlin Clark's so-called ankle injury. Why no boot? How did the groin issue suddenly become an ankle problem? It feels less like medical updates and more like damage control. Fans notice when timelines shift and explanations change. Transparency is key in professional sports. When teams go silent, it often signals control, not protection. If Clark was healthy enough to play but still sidelined, that's a red flag. Other franchises handle stars differently. When Brianna Stewart or Aya Wilson faced injuries, updates were clear and consistent. Even Elena Del Don's chronic issues were communicated openly. Indiana, however, has given silence and confusing PR, leaving fans and Clark in the dark.
I also believe part of Kelsey Mitchell's performance this year was the fact that Caitlin wasn't there to take some of those shots. The fact is, Kelsey Mitchell took some shots that would have been Caitlin's. Let's just be real. And because of that extra volume and the fact that she had to be the main offensive threat, it also caused an explosion in her stats.
The media barely challenged White's statements, no tough questions, no pushback. That interview felt sanitized, almost like it was pre-approved by the Fever's PR team. Fans saw through it immediately, which explains the low engagement. They recognize when something feels corporate instead of authentic. This goes beyond a communication mistake, it's a betrayal of trust. When your franchise cornerstone is sidelined, fans deserve honesty. Caitlin deserves honesty. Instead, she was sidelined for organizational messaging. Despite being the player who restored the team's relevance and brought fans back, Stephanie White may think she's steering the ship, but focusing on loyalty over generational talent risks more than losses on the court. It risks the team's belief and, ultimately, its future.
Like Kelsey Mitchell, I'm not trying to dog out Kelsey Mitchell, but she's the clear number 2 option on this team. All right? And everything should run through Caitlin Clark.
Here's what really happened when Caitlin Clark went down. Once she was out, Kelsey Mitchell's usage rate soared. Every possession, fast break, and late-game set shifted to her. She delivered, posting career numbers and hitting clutch shots. But here's the truth no one in the Fever organization wants to admit. Players can look better when a generational star isn't on the floor. It's not magic. The offense is inflated to run through them. The team doesn't improve, it just survives. Kelsey Mitchell is thriving, but in a system built on volume, not victory. She's a phenomenal scorer, but there's a difference between being a scorer and being a cornerstone. Think Scottie Pippen, elite, essential, but not the foundation of a championship. When Michael Jordan retired, the same Bulls roster fell short. Same principle applies here. You can build with Kelsey Mitchell, you cannot build around her.
Has decided that she's building around Kelsey Mitchell, and to build around Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark is not who you need to build around Kelsey Mitchell. You need to build around Kelsey Mitchell. You have to build an Allen Iverson type Sixers team. You can have, in my opinion, you should trade Aaliyah as well. In my opinion, you should trade. I don't think Aaliyah is the right center to have beside Kelsey Mitchell. I think you should trade Kate. You should trade Kate and you should trade Aaliyah.
Stephanie White knows this. She's a basketball veteran who has studied systems her entire career. If she truly wanted to build around Kelsey Mitchell, the roster would need to look very different. Defensive specialists, a pass-first point guard, a rim protector who avoids touches, and versatile 3-and-D wings. That approach is a one-and-done playoff blueprint, not sustainable success. The irony is that the Fever already have the pieces for a championship. Caitlin Clark is floor general, Kelsey Mitchell as off-ball scorer, and Aaliyah Boston as low-post anchor, a modern big three built for pace, space, and chaos. Last season, once Clark took full control post-Olympics, the team thrived, Mitchell became more efficient, Boston improved, and the offense flowed seamlessly. Then White introduced a motion offense that spreads touches but strips players of identity, dismantling the system that was clearly working.
How important was she to your team this year? How important has she been to the Fever? Obviously, the 8 years she's been with the franchise, and how badly do you want to keep her around?
I mean, yeah, she was the number one priority a year ago, and she's the number one priority this year. She's been so important. And, I said this last year, Kelsey deserves to go through this stage of her Indiana Fever career. She's been through sort of the worst of the worst, for lack of a better term.
Instead of building around the star who transformed the franchise, White publicly declared Kelsey Mitchell the top priority. Not Caitlin Clark, the record-breaking player who sold out arenas and reignited national interest, but the 8-year veteran who spent much of her career in the lottery. This isn't about diminishing Kelsey, it's about organizational vision. Are you loyal, or are you legendary? History remembers those who change the game, not those who stay the longest. The Lakers built around Kobe, not Dirk Fisher. The Warriors built around Steph Curry, not Draymond Green. The Fever are confusing sentimentality with strategy, a mistake that can kill dynasties before they start. It gets messier. Mitchell is a free agent with leverage, while Clark is still on her rookie deal. White's comments make sense tactically to keep a free agent happy, but from a basketball and leadership perspective, it's a disaster. Publicly prioritizing Kelsey over Caitlin sends one clear message: politics over performance.
I'm telling you right now, I believe Stephanie White believes Kelsey Mitchell's the best player on this team. That's on a team that's got Caitlin Clark on the team, on the roster.
The Fever are trapped in an echo chamber. The coach praises the veteran, the front office echoes it, and PR pushes team-first talking points. Meanwhile, no one asks the hard questions. Is this offense working? Are we using our best player? Are we building a championship team or protecting egos? Kelsey Mitchell has been Indiana's top scorer for years, yet the team stayed in losing seasons with constant rebuilding. Then Caitlin Clark arrived, and the team became the hottest ticket in women's basketball. Sold-out games, jerseys flying, ESPN primetime. One player changed everything. Instead of building around her, the message seems to be, "Thanks for saving us." Now step aside. Mitchell will get her max deal, but with it comes expectations. When the Fever hit the ceiling, a second-round exit or conference finals at best, questions will follow. Why isn't Clark running the offense? Why prioritize a veteran over a generational talent? By then, it may be too late.
Tell her every day, I love being her coach, and I want to continue to be her coach for as long as she'll be a member of the Indiana Fever. And yes, she is absolutely the number one priority.
Caitlin Clark has only 2 years left on her deal. If she spends that time in a system that sidelines her and a coach who downplays her role, why would she stay? She could join any team in New York, Las Vegas, or Los Angeles and instantly make them contenders. Indiana keeps prioritizing politics over potential. They risk more than losses. They risk the franchise's future. The WNBA has a recurring issue with misjudging talent and clinging to loyalty, and the Fever are the latest example. When Clark's contract expires, top franchises will be ready to sign her. Indiana could be left behind, wondering how they lost one of the most marketable, transformative players in decades. Why mishandling Clark? The Fever are mishandling a generational opportunity, choosing tenure over transcendence, comfort over courage, loyalty over legacy. In sports, that's a mistake you never recover from. Share your thoughts on Coach White's statement in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.